Hello and welcome to IHR Live session on tailoring technology to transform talent acquisition. Thank you for taking time to join us today for this insightful discussion. Throughout today's session, we will be taking questions via the chat functionality available on the network stand. So please share your questions throughout for the speakers and the wider networx team. I'm Jess Dodds, the Head of Marketing here at networx. We've spent almost 2 decades supporting businesses nationwide in simplifying and streamlining their technology and recruitment processes through intuitive software. Today, we are pleased to be partnering with IHR and our clients from Emerald Group and Aster Housing to share a little more about how tailoring your recruitment technology can positively impact your talent acquisition. At networx, we collaborate with clients to deliver simple, clever recruitment software and recruitment services to attract, engage, manage and onboard top talent. However, in a digital-first era, the possibilities for recruitment innovation are endless. As your recruitment process is unique to you and your business, so is the way you innovate, and digital transformation comes in many shapes and sizes. Whether you're looking to save time with automated workflows, deliver an outstanding candidate experience, or introduce new equality and diversity application processes, recruitment technology plays an integral role to support you in delivering your recruitment goals. Sharing their experience and story with us, we've got 2 fantastic clients joining us today. And starting, we've got Richard, who is a recruitment partner at Emerald Group, a global learning organisation bringing together EmeraldWorks, an e-learning solutions provider, and Emerald Publishing, an academic publisher. With more than a decade of recruitment experience, spanning both in-house and agency, Richard now looks after talent acquisition for all hires across Emerald's various UK and international locations. As part of a long-term commitment to equality, diversity and inclusion, Emerald have recently redesigned their recruitment interview processes, bringing together a range of ED&I improvements, including anonymised shortlisting processes. So I'd love to welcome Richard to the stage to share his story.
Thank you very much. Hi there. My name is Richard. I'm the recruitment partner at Emerald Publishing, and I wanted to talk through inclusive recruitment and shortlisting and our journey towards improving our levels of inclusivity within our recruitment process. So who are Emerald? We're a global learning organisation. We have over 450 employees, a £60 million turnover, and a presence in 130 countries, as well as having approximately 14 offices internationally. So despite being a company of just under 500 employees, we're really well developed from a group structure point of view and also with our international presence. So on one side of things, we have Emerald Publishing, and we're a digital first publisher focusing on higher education and universities as our customer base, and we publish journals, case studies and books. And on the other side of things, we have EmeraldWorks, where we're a leading e-learning products and services provider, focusing on leadership and management, training and learning, and applying mostly towards the corporate learning, but also the B2C market. So our goals when it comes to diversity and inclusion, we're committed to being a leading voice. From Emerald Publishing, we provide research focused on the big issues that matter to society, including gender and ethnicity, as well as many others. And our e-learning products with EmeraldWorks support management and leadership practices in the workplace. So our goals externally are very well aligned to equality, diversity and inclusion. And similarly, we celebrate individuality and inclusion across Emerald internally, and attracting diverse talent is a really big part of that. But also we see it as really key to success and performance. And there's a lot of research out there to show that teams have increased creativity, innovation, better performance overall, and faster problem-solving skills. So looking at our current efforts towards inclusive recruiting, we've got an ongoing program of actions to support our recruitment process. And some of those include gender balanced adverts. We use a gender decoder tool called Matfield. We also use ED&I specific job boards such as Even Break, Read and Partnership. More recently, we're a disability confident leader accredited business. And as part of that, we offer really clear support for those with disability or neurodiversity considerations, and that's on our careers site, but also threaded throughout our communications with candidates as part of the application process. And we also see telephone interviews as a really important first step in the interview process to reduce bias. And we also provide essential and kind of must-do unconscious bias training for managers as part of the recruitment process. So looking next and internally at our recruitment process, the next kind of greatest area for potential for bias is within CV shortlisting, and that was a bit of an untouched area for us. So we wanted to minimize and remove this from the process, from CV shortlisting. So ideally what we wanted to do was completely anonymize applications to hiring managers and remove their ability to see any personal details, so such as name, any reference to gender, ethnicity, age, or disability. So we looked at a few different options, and one of those was to have a very clear statement on our careers page and also on application forms, asking candidates to remove any personal details from their CV and then relying on them as in the application process. We also looked at using CV parsing software to remove personal details, but neither of those really seemed to work as a fully kind of functional and effective solution. So we also looked at a specific solution with our ATS provider, networx. And what we found there was and we decided on was a feature called panel scoring with networx. And there's a few things that enables us to do. In particular, it allows hiring managers to review candidates completely anonymously. Instead of a name, they just see a number, which is really what we wanted and the big goal. So apart from that, candidates are scored against criteria. You need to set up shortlisting criteria for their skills, knowledge, and qualifications, or any combination of those. And part of this, there's also from the candidate side of things, they fill in an application form with just their career history over the last 10 years, full career history over the last 10 years, and a cover letter, but nothing else for the most part. And so the aim is that it's just a copy and paste from their CV, and they can easily upload those details. And we no longer accept CVs. We turn the option completely off. So we're completely unable to receive CVs from candidates now or agencies. We've also renamed the process from internal scoring to inclusive shortlisting to give a really clear message when we're communicating this to the wider business and making it clear that the goal with this, with what this new process does. Some of the concerns that came out of this, I mean, both within, internally from the people team and leadership, various stakeholders involved in recruitment, was that this kind of feature and process tends to be used by more councils and universities and public bodies. And they've got some big advantages on their side, such as city central locations, sometimes exceptional benefits with final salary pensions. Maybe they're much larger. They might have a much more well known as an organisation. But we're a business with over 450 people. We're headquartered in Bingley, very well known within publishing. But we recruit 14 locations internationally, and we really need to recognise this and make sure that we remain both attractive to candidates, but also there's an ease of use with hiring managers. So addressing some of these concerns and digging into them a bit deeper, really it was about, will we lose out on good candidates? Is this potentially time intensive as an application process with the application forms. Also, is this more work for hiring managers? Is it going to be time intensive doing the scoring and shortlisting process? So to address those, we set up the process as light as possible, and we found it to be very flexible and customizable. From the application form side of things, we set it up, very simply, just the career history and cover letter, plus a few standard questions. And assuming a candidate or an agency has the CV ready to go, it takes a direct candidate 8 minutes to apply on average, and takes an agency 7 minutes on average. And from the hiring manager side of things, with the scoring process, we decided to really strip that back as light as possible again, and so they just have to score based on a maybe, yes, maybe, or no, and no other kind of criteria or looking at specific questions on skills and scoring those. Also, we've had a really hands-on approach with hiring managers, doing a lot of screen sharing, walking them through the click-through process, giving them, before starting each vacancy, giving the context of what it's all about. And to help hiring managers again, the people team have been doing an initial sift of candidates. We've had a really high volume at the moment, between 70 and 90 applications for most roles, if not much more for certain vacancies. We're trying to make it as straightforward as possible, and especially for those first few vacancies, make sure we've got people's buy-in and it's really working for them as a process. So we've tried to get that 70 or 90 applications down to just 20 or 30 for them to review. And this is what the application form looks like for candidates. At the top, there's a statement what Emerald is aiming to do with equality, diversity, and inclusion, and asking candidates not to include any personal details within their career history still and their cover letter. So it's quite straightforward. Just enter company name, dates, job title, and then responsibilities, including achievements in there as well. Then we ask candidates to fill out full history over the last 10 years, and essentially copy and pasting what they have from their CV. And this is the rest of the application form. We have a few other quick questions in there, such as salary expectations, eligibility to work, room for a cover letter, and that's it for the most part. I mean, there is an equal ops form as well, which we have separate to that, but this is the whole application process for candidates, which we feel is quite straightforward. And looking at the hiring manager side of things, this is the before of what shortlisting looked like for hiring managers. I've omitted the candidate names there, those grey boxes with candidate names, just for GDPR reasons, but normally there's the full candidate name and a list of those down the middle there. And then on the right-hand side, we've got the full CV, again with candidate name, address, and contact details listed in there. Then hiring managers use the green, yellow, red to flag those as yes, maybe, or no's. So, and then this is what it looks like now, the opening screen for hiring managers. On the left-hand side, or just about the left-hand side, there is a number instead of the name, and down the middle we have the completion of progress, whether they've been scored or not. Then on the right-hand side, there's a blue score button, and that's where managers go to start the process and start scoring candidates. And once they click that, this is what it looks like next. Quite straightforward. On the left-hand side, we've got the application form with the career history, and then you just scroll down and everything's listed there, including the other questions there on the application form. And on the right-hand side, the orange box is what used to be the red, yellow, green part of the process, and that's been swapped to a yes, maybe, or no. And then a bit of guidance in the blue box above to give a bit of clarity on what that's all about. And then managers click on the green complete button and cycle through the candidates, and that's that. And then the shortlisting is complete. So this has now been launched. We've been up and running for a good 2, if not 3 months now, and we've learned some interesting things along the way. I mean, it's been a resounding success, and we've had a really smooth process. we found, and some of the interesting things we've noticed partially filled in applications from some candidates, but for the large majority seem to be where they don't have the required skills and experience, or they're really much less of a good fit for the role. And I think what we're finding is that candidates tend to, because they know that perhaps they're a bit less motivated and a bit less of a fit for the role, they'll kind of get bored and give up essentially, and maybe they'll just put in a one-liner or maybe just one role and not make, it's kind of apparent they're not making much effort there. So it's acting as a filter, which is absolutely fine. And those candidates that do have the right fit and the right skills, they're really making the effort. And given the time it takes to complete an application, we feel it's not too much to ask, and it's a fair level of commitment from their side. We're also finding kind of an ongoing question and discussion within Emerald is about referrals and recommendations. Some hiring managers highly value those, which in many cases is a fair thing. I mean, good employees tend to recommend good candidates. But then what we're aiming to do is get those treated fairly within the inclusive shortlisting process. And whereas some hiring managers want them to be flagged beforehand and fast-tracked, the people team and the resounding thinking from our side is that it should be included in the blind process, and if they don't make it through, should they really be in the process? But it's an ongoing discussion. We're continuing that. Agencies, there's a bit of a feeling in the business, just from a couple of people, will there be issues working with agencies? What's their buy-in going to be to the process? But really, we found that been overwhelmingly supportive and positive, and we do want to have work with agencies that share our values. So that's really been a resounding positive so far. We also it's also a bit more complicated, potentially capturing candidate information from an EDI, kind of equal ops data from candidates via agencies, because it's difficult for them to ask over the phone, what's your ethnicity, what's your age, your gender. It's really kind of inappropriate in many ways. So we've decided any agency candidate that we're going to omit their equal ops data from our measurement moving forward, but that's just something that's come up as part of the process. Also, the big thing that I think we knew beforehand, but that is really highlighted by this, is there's no shortcut to diversity, and inclusive shortlisting is part of a wider strategy. It really helps create a fair recruitment process, but much greater efforts are needed to attract a more diverse talent pool to apply in the first place. And there's various things we're looking at, so outreach to underrepresented communities, such as women in tech or women in digital, just as one example. Likewise, we can really continue to enhance our employer brand to be more attractive for diverse communities. And early careers recruitment is a big one as well. There's a greater reflection of the diversity of society within graduates. So there's a lot we can do there to increase our levels of diversity and talent attraction. And so measuring success, now we've been launched and up and running for a few months. Hiring manager feedback has been resoundingly positive. They found the process smooth. We've recruited roles, very smoothly. Perhaps that's been helped in part by COVID and there being a lot of good candidates looking at the moment. But the process itself has been smooth, and we've actually had, mostly, resoundingly pretty much positive feedback about the benefits that adds to the shortlisting. And from a data point of view, our equal ops data is captured as part of the application form. So we're really keen to establish the impact of inclusive shortlisting, and prior to that, how effective were our recruitment process in recruiting diverse talent versus afterwards. So that's something we're going to look at. And with the help of networx, we can also report on diversity at the various stages, so application versus interview versus offer. So that's something we're going to look at. And over the next 6 to 12 months, it's just all about collecting that data, looking at the diversity of hires at each stage and drawing any applicants that we can out of that. We're fairly early stages from that point of view, and just below is a screenshot of some of the reporting function that helps us in meeting those objectives. So that is everything. Thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure. And please let me know of any questions.
Thank you so much, Richard, for that insightful discussion on such a pertinent topic, and one that I believe a lot of other organisations are looking into at present. If you do have any questions for Richard and the Emerald Group, please do head over to the network stand to ask your questions. I'm sure Richard will be happy to take any of those, as well as the wider network team to support you. Our second speaker and fantastic client joining us today is Lynn. Lynn is the HR and recruitment specialist at Aster Housing, a leading housing provider delivering safety and security through supplying a wide range of housing options in response to the housing crisis. With over 30 years' experience across public, private and not-for-profit organisations, Lynn is passionate about people and ensuring candidates have an excellent journey from application to offer and onboarding. Lynn is proud to be pioneering the Aster Way and the Aster ethos through exciting digital transformation they undertook with networks to secure the very best talent. So I would love to welcome Lynn to the stage.
Aster is a housing association and also a housing builder. Our vision is everyone has a home. Having built a strong relationship with our account support team and being keen to develop our site, at every opportunity we have worked very closely with networks over the years to develop an end-to-end site that works well for the business and gives applicants and new starters a great personalised experience. We introduced an electronic RAF built within the network site for leaders, with the added ease of authorisation all within the site. All activities could now take place within the site, including auto-release of application, leaders shortlisting, and progressing the candidates to interview stage. Something else that really works well for us is the candidates can choose a day and time for their interview. We use the self-selection interview mode for our candidates, enabling them to select the most convenient time for them. We know people live busy lives, so we text candidates to let them know they've been shortlisted for interview and to click the link in the email to book their slot, which works really well. All of our emails within networks are fully customizable, meaning we can really get your organization's brand and tone of voice across whilst maintaining consistency. In 2018, we launched our onboarding site. This gives our new starters a seamless, personalized welcome experience before they join us. Here we share important documents via DocuSign and first day information with the new starter, whilst requesting information from them at the same time. We work closely with our account support team at Networks to make our ambitious plans a reality. At the same time, we also decided to take our reference process to the next level. This consists of collecting the candidate's referee details and requesting references via networks. We've built a custom reference form which fulfills our requirements and automatic notifications when references are completed. They are sent to the HR team to review, meaning more time can be spent on value-added activities. Gone are the days of ringing around companies pleading for a reference. We also recognise that as a new starter touches on more teams than just us. So to make things as easy as possible for the leader, we have built in auto notifications once an offer is made in networks to internal teams such as IT, facilities, learning and development, and the employee experience team. As an organisation with a big transformation agenda, we have worked hard with networks to achieve this. Actively working with our account manager, we have been able to share ideas and plans and turn them into action. with the added extra of networking with the networked clients and sharing best practice. We are also reviewing what we may need from networks in the future. We have been on such a journey from just having a basic ATS to now a fully personalized platform. I have personally developed with the system throughout the various development projects we've successfully achieved together with networks, and I'm excited to see what future developments are in store. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn, for sharing those slides with us today. If you have any questions for Lynn, you can ask them in the Q&A chat, or you can ask them over on our stand after the session today. We hope you found this session informative, gaining insight into how our clients have tailored their technology to transform talent acquisition across their organisations. And if you are looking to innovate your recruitment, please make sure to visit our stand and send across any questions to the fantastic clients who've spoken with us today and the wider networks team, either in the Q&A chat functionality that's part of this session or at our stand, so we can support you with your talent acquisition ambitions.